Hello, everyone. My name is Molly Goldberg, and I am Development Manager here at Democracy for America. I'm so excited to bring you today another installment of 21 for 21, DFA's biweekly series highlighting candidates, activists, and DFA members who have been instrumental in our progressive movement. Today, I'm thrilled to be here with Rep. Jessica Benham, who won a historic election in 2020 in Pennsylvania. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Let's dive right in. Your race was historic in more than one way. How did support from organizations like DFA help you become the first openly LGBT woman and first openly autistic person in the PA state legislature?
I was really grateful for the coalition of organizations, whether we're talking about ones like DFA or labor unions, and we also had elected officials. And I just had this wonderful coalition of supporters around me. We were able to really build a movement in my district that I'm excited to continue to be part of to this day.
Nice. What is one challenge you faced that led you to run for office in the first place?
For me, it was seeing all of the ways in which my community was struggling, whether that was lack of access to economic opportunity or the ways in which climate change has been devastating my district through landslides and floodings. I was watching what was happening in my community and felt called to step up and begin to address these problems.
That's amazing. That's so important that everyday people like you step up to address these issues. How has being an elected official changed your perspective of politics?
It's interesting, right? Because I always say that I never saw running for office in my future. It wasn't something that was part of the plan for my life. I always thought I would be someone working outside those traditional systems of power to try to make change and hold people accountable. So now being in a place where I have the opportunity to uplift voices that for so long have been unheard, it's incredible. That really is wonderful. And of course, I'm in the minority party in the state legislature, which makes it more difficult to move forward a truly progressive agenda for my district. And yet, on the other hand, to be able to solve the problems that people are facing in their everyday lives is wonderful. My office has been helping people resolve issues with their unemployment claims or helping folks find where to get a COVID-19 vaccine. Or, I helped someone whose part of her property had been messed up by the gas company and she needed them to come back and fix it. So we got that taken care of for her. And so solving those problems is really rewarding. And that's what keeps me going, even when the politics of Harrisburg are difficult.
That's amazing. What is one thing you wish you would tell yourself a year ago, knowing everything you know now?
Oh, goodness. I mean, a year ago, we were just a little ways into this pandemic, and I was running for office for the first time. We had pivoted from knocking doors to making phone calls. And so I think I wish I could have given myself a glimpse of what things would look like a year later, how many people would still be struggling, all of the ways in which our government continues to fail folks who just need access to what they need to survive at this point, let alone thrive. And so I wish I could give Jessica of April 2020 a little glimpse of what things would look like a year from now.
I think we all wish we could see back then what things would look like now as well. If you could pass any policy without having to compromise or negotiate with the opposition, what would that policy be?
Oh, pro-democracy reforms for sure. I mean, an end to gerrymandering or substantial campaign finance reform. Those are the things that allow politicians to not be accountable to their constituents. When politicians can choose the borders of their districts in a way that's really political, they're choosing their voters instead of voters choosing their elected officials. Here in Pennsylvania, we have very lax campaign finance regulations, which means that people can take money from corporate PACs and then they're accountable to huge corporations as opposed to the individuals that they're actually supposed to be representing. So for me, it would be pro-democracy reforms, because when folks are accountable to the people that they represent, then we're going to pass legislation that is good for everyday Pennsylvanians.
I love that you call it pro-democracy reforms. I think that's such a good way to phrase it. It's so important. I live in Ohio and it's so gerrymandered here as well. And I think all states could benefit from those reforms, definitely.
Absolutely agree.
And then finally, just a fun question. What is the first thing that you want to do when this pandemic is totally over?
Oh, that is a really good question. You know, I'm an extrovert. And so pre-pandemic, I was hanging out with friends all the time. And I'm looking forward to being surrounded by people again, because it's difficult as an extrovert to find that people energy when you're just seeing folks on a screen. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to really being able to see my family again, my parents, my grandparents. Those are things, people, really. I'm looking forward to being around people.
Yes, me too. Have you been able to be vaccinated?
Yes, I get my second shot tomorrow. So
Yay.
fingers crossed for no horrible side effects, because I have to drive to Harrisburg on Sunday.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. I know our members are really going to appreciate hearing from you. If anyone wants to learn more about your campaign or follow you, where can they follow you at?
So I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and my website is www.benham4pa.com with the FOR spelled out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob, and I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, you as well.